Okay, when I get into my combine in the morning, a couple of visual checks that I always like to do involve the hydraulic top link, the MacDon, the feeder reverser. When I do these checks, I do it because it controls my downtime. It's a good visual check. Again, I'll say it again, it's not what you expect, it's what you inspect. If you don't look it over, how do you know it's good? One of the reasons I do like a hydraulic top link, other than it gives exceptionally good cushioning, because it's hydraulic between the deck and between the feeder house, is that I can use my hydraulic top link to inspect the gap between the deck and the adapter. It gives me great visual access, and it gives good service access. It allows you to look at the mounting points on both sides of the drum. But the key bit I look at in the morning is I'm going to reverse my drum. I'm going to reverse my feeder house, and in the process of doing that, I'm going to watch my MacDon clutch switch to the reversing position, and I'm going to watch the retractable fingers on the tine drum switch to their reversing position. As you can see, the fingers on the MacDon are currently in the forward position. They come out the drum at approximately 12 o'clock and they exit the drum around 6 o'clock, pulling crop and product off the center draper, floating them underneath the RTD, and then feeding them into the broad elevator in a nice flattened mat. When I reverse my feeder every morning, I would extend my top link for visual inspection, both service and for maintenance, and to make sure that there's no damage occurred. And when I reverse my feeder, I'm going to watch my finger timing change, and I'm going to listen to my clutch. On the armrest, I've got my separator engaged switch with its reverse position, and I've got my feeder engaged switch with its reverse position. I'm going to do the feeder first because I don't have to run the rotor. Instead of putting it up and putting it into the forward position, I lift it and I place it into the reverse position. I then get this icon, feeder reverser enabled, place the feeder switch in the on position. So what it's asking is, put it on. You notice then, the feeder doesn't engage. The feeder is not running, even though the feeder switch is in the on position. I then get this pop-up, feeder reverser, feeder speed negative to jog reverse, feeder off to exit reverse mode. You get a flashing icon here for the feeder, and the feeder icon shows a red arrow. I select OK. On the armrest, this is the feeder reverser switch. Okay, it has a negative icon on the bottom. Press and hold. The feeder reverses. You can now clearly see on the MacDon that the retractable fingers have gone into the reverse position. As the broad elevator reverses, the tine drum is run in reverse, the center draper reverses. Those fingers are now extracting crop from the back of the broad elevator. The two-position clutch inside the RTD made a nice clear clunk as it reversed the position. I can now clearly see it, and I can watch what's going on. So, remembering, the switch on the armrest is reverse, not this switch. This switch is just the enabler. So, now I've had a good look down my gap and I can see my fingers are reversed nicely. I can lift my draper up and I can see down inside my fingers. I would then engage my separator and then put my feeder back into gear and watch my fingers come forwards again into the forward position. Do that every day and you will keep the clutch inside the MacDon RTD drum. You'll keep it nice and free. Hear the clutch change position. Lift the switch into the reverse. Enable the feeder reverser switch and press the reverse. Watch the fingers go into reverse. See them move, hear the clutch change. If you don't hear the nice loud clunk of the clutch moving off, you've probably got a lot of chaff stuck in the drum. The inspection ports on the RTD drum give good access. Keep the inside of the drum clean. It's prone to filling up with chaff simply because of its location on the draper. Reverse the drum every day, see the finger timing change, monitor what's going on. It's also a nice way to run the knife slowly. So you can see the knife is actually running in the reverse position, but the side drapers don't run, the reel doesn't run. Make sure you know how to reverse your feeder. You're going to need to use it. If your feeder slip clutch goes off, it's well worth checking the chain tension on the tine drum. These new D140s with the new FM100 adapter are very, very nice to adjust the chain tension. There's now no excuse for chain tensioning on the RTD drum, and we'll have a look at that in a bit. Okay, when I'm doing my morning checks on my MacDon, one of the key bits I would always look at is the flight to pan clearance. If you see any marks on the pan, then the height of the drum is not where it should be. You can't check flight to pan clearance with the hydraulic top link extended, so you've got to retract it. Here you can clearly see the fingers in the reversed position. So the drum was last run in its reverse position, and the fingers are protruding on the back side of the drum closest to the broad elevator. We'll run it again in forwards in a second. You can clearly see an inspection hatch here with the two 10mm bolts. Again, captive nuts on the back side. Really easy to remove that inspection hatch, and allows you to clean out any chaff. Also, if you're going in to replace the retractable fingers due to damage, that's the patch you go through. Again, one on this side over here. There's multiple ones on the drum in positions for you to get to. So, flight to pan clearance, very important to check every day. The height of the drum is controlled with a mechanism on each side, which again has nice access when the hydraulic top link is extended. Learn about how the height of the drum is manipulated. It's nothing more than a manual adjustment. The drum is allowed to float. You can see on the side of the drum here, this new D140, and with the FM100 adapter, has these new stops on the side of the drum which prevent the drum from reaching the top of the aperture. Excellent addition from MacDon, like it a lot. Obviously, finger timing, you don't want fingers or flight contacting with the top of the aperture. You want the drum to freely float well within its range at the bottom and with its height at the top. Okay.